I start the mountains by laying a thin sketch in purple and olive green to guide the painting of ridges and coastline. I fill in grayish purple and light olive green as the base layer for the mountains. The different shades of color help define the texture of the mountains. I don't want a flat cartoonish look. I make the coast bright green to make it more defined. Since it's closer to the viewer, I'll shade it less bright away from the coast to give an illusion of depth. I define the clouds with a bluish-gray layer. Clouds are white only at the top. The clouds on the left hang low, covering the mountains, typical for Alaska. This was the first sunny day of the cruise in late May. Before that, it was all clouds and rain. That day, people were sunbathing on the top deck of the ship. The sun was very uplifting. I give definition to the mountain sides by adding a gray tone of purple and a brown tone of olive green to contrast with the solid purple and solid green. The contrast gives texture and highlight where water carved the mountain sides. I define the mountain tops with an acrylic paint marker instead of a brush, because it's easier to lay lots of short, straight lines where the snow sticks to the rock. I add dark gray to the bottom of the clouds to give them more body and definition. If I do more landscapes, I would learn to master painting clouds much better. The way light disperses in clouds makes it tricky to paint. So far, I've done more animals than landscapes. Done right, clouds add drama to a landscape. I hope I've done the clouds justice on this one. I fill the middle of the clouds with light gray to give contrast to the pure white snow on the mountaintops. The snow is solid, while the clouds are transparent and more dispersed. On the left, the clouds are still thick enough to hide the mountains. On the right, they gradually disappear with the heat of the sun. In the middle, you'll see a battle of gray and white on the peaks of the mountains. The clouds are hard to imitate. Clouds give character to Alaska's landscape. I add a layer of orange on the horizon to highlight the mountaintops. Note, this did not exist in the original photo. After all, this is a painting, not a photograph. The reddish sky adds spice to the bland sky. I did something similar before on my landscape of Moraine Lake in Canada. Later, I'll tone down the red and give it more of a gradation. In the next and last video, part 3, I do the corrections and refinements.